Okay, so I'm Jonathan Cousins, Mr. Rance. You assigned this assignment for us. This is my presentation of the gifted education infographics. Start off, the first one's going to be talking about the gifted students articles. It's talking about the funding, which went from 11.25 million to $5 million. It was a pretty big drop in funding. And the second one's talking about, my second point is talking about teachers struggling with differentiating between the higher achieving students and lower achieving students. Basically, that by mixing them, they were basically saying they needed help and that they needed more funding so they could hire more teachers to do more with these groups. And that No Child Left Behind program, when it was introduced, it actually feels like it's harming it's actually okay, I got the hiccups. It's harming the gifted children, and it's harming the underachieving because it feels like it's basically setting them up to fail and hindering them from full potential. On the next one, you got gifted education, but it's crucial, but there is no need for the label. Academic needs are not being met, so they're just labeling it instead. We are moving from a proficient-based model to a growth-based model, in which, in a way, this is going to help a student, like, in academic-wise by leading them on to do better in school, and it's actually going to help them proceed through the school and curriculum and do better. They came up with 3 alternative points that they need to locate all the numbers of students that are not, the gifted students that aren't being met academically, and they actually need to create or locate an appropriate intervention place for those kids in need, and then they need to they created that policy to intervene so they can meet these academic needs. And they feel like as a country we need to start focusing on the children's needs rather than giving the child a label. On the second one, it's talking about a higher IQ versus a lower IQ. Higher IQ doesn't guarantee you greatness, but also a lower IQ doesn't guarantee you failure. In fact, in recent studies in California, lower IQ students actually did great things and were successful in life instead of having an higher IQ and assuming you're going to do great. On the next one, we have tracking students based on abilities, benefits of peers. By grouping them together, you're actually harming them in a way, because then lower achieving students feel intimidated to ask questions why the higher achieving are actually being slowed down at their level so they can't get their academic needs met. By grouping these students like separately, we actually do a lot better because they can benefit from each other. And in recent studies, higher achieving students benefit from higher achieving peers, while lower achieving students benefit from lower achieving peers. And the whole leaders amongst individuals, yes, that's a thing, but also at the same time, you need lower achieving students that need to step up and be that leader for others instead of following pursuit in some other kids. And the amount of support for this is actually really huge as long as you don't go at it biased and one-sided and offend somebody. If you don't offend somebody and you talk to them like a normal person with respect, you're going to get a lot more support for this. On the next one, which is our last one, this was actually, I think, the first article you gave us. It's the higher education curriculum. Lower achieving students perform better when exposed to this program, which is 100% true. When the Black and Latinos and whites and Asians were all integrated, the Black and Latinos, when they were exposed to this higher curriculum, they went from a 32% to a 92%. That's a 60% difference, huge difference in academics. And the whites and Asians went from an 88% to a 98%. That's a 10% difference. It's still huge, but at the same time, people are doing better when exposed to this. Higher achieving students perform at the same level, and lower achieving students actually perform better. So you really don't have to worry about them ever getting hindered at this. And personal opinions, if you give any student with inadequate equipment and poor conditions, it will hinder the child from any higher educational program. And that's all I got to say about this, because I'm done.